Good morning everybody and welcome back to the mistiest Altenstein I've seen. You missed a very busy day, a very long day. As you recall, the last episode was basically sort of quite early in the day. We got some bits and bobs done and we cracked on with it. We'll just put the help menu back on while I think of it and we'll have a look at the map. There have been some developments. We'll zoom in. We bought field 14. Now I want to see fruit types. We bought field 14 here yesterday and we harvested it and we've got that ready again for today. We got about $100,000 cash. The reason we didn't buy any more fields is because they were all had sugar beet in, which we didn't really want to have to mess with because it's quite time consuming and not really very profitable, as we've seen. But today they've all got cereal crops in, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to buy them. So we're going to buy, let's see, what should we do? 23 we'll buy on the way round. That's an expensive field. 23 costs 52,000. We'll buy field 12, which is over here. That's 28,000. We've got little field 15 over here as well, which is 15,000. And basically by the end of today we are going to have this map bought. And we are... I put wide tyres on the Fiat Agri just to see if it helped with the compaction because it seemed a bit slow and it didn't. So there you go. But I tried. So we're just going to look at the mist. We're just going to head back over here and you know, this map again, so small and compact but so lively. So many little things on here that you could come up. I've come up with stories for everything. Who lived here? Well, you'll have to wait and see. Now something I'm going to point out, this isn't a complaint at all because I make these videos because I enjoy them. From the last episode to the beginning of this one was 5 hours of farming. With one harvester on this map, it is a very long day and that was really going at it. I did another load of trees, so we've cut down 15 trees from this area of forestry. To be honest, if I'd steamed in and cut down all these trees in 4 or 5 hours, well, less time I would have thought, I could have bought this whole map on day one, but where would the fun have been in that? So yeah, a lot of work goes into this, and then out of those, you know, 5 hours of gameplay, I'm trying to bring you the footage for the episode. It's quite hard sometimes to know what to show you, and I think the point I'm trying to get to is feedback is really valuable, so please take a moment. If you're watching this episode, if you've watched a playthrough, if you've watched some of my other stuff, Sosnovka, wrap that up, 100 cows, and that playthrough was at kind of a natural end for me. I might, you know, even if that was just been a private job, I think where that farm had got to is kind of the tipping point for me. It becomes rinse and repeat. I was earning, you know, 100,000 150,000 a day if I pulled my finger out. I can do anything I want to do. My inclination is then to start another farm and get that to that stage. This one we've got a finite end point, which is a little bit different for me. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm still having to count in my head. I'll get the hang of it. But back to the feedback. It's really, so out of all of that time, out of all of that footage, what do you like to see? I'd really like to know. Do you like to primarily, you know, just see me in a vehicle, just getting on with bits and bobs? I did the morning in the Massey episode in this playthrough, which was literally just that. That's what that became. It wasn't really intentional. That trailer's in completely inappropriate position, isn't it? Or do you like to see all the detail of every day? You know, I like you guys to know and see that I'm not kind of cheating. And that there's kind of a certain amount of transparency, because my pleasure in this game is working my way up, using what I've got, and the equipment on this farm has been great fun. You can't really use much bigger equipment on this farm. This is definitely one where you'd have 2 harvesters rather than one big one. Getting one of the huge harvesters around, no matter how much money you had, would be a nightmare on this farm. So I would certainly, once we bought all this farm, my next step, which would be the next day because the income is so good now on a daily basis, would be to get another harvester, have 2 completely separate field teams, and you know, half the amount of time it's actually going to take to do a day instantly by doing that, in theory anyway. Is this way too long? So I think my projections are we've got a day's worth of silage to sell, which is going to be 25 to 30,000. I haven't really checked the price, but we'll have a look. We have got the harvest to sell, and we've got a bit of a stockpile of barley as well, waiting for the price to go up, and it seems to be today. So that's probably going to cover, I should think, about another 30 to 40,000. We're going to do a couple of loads of wood this morning. I am now, while it's misty, we're waiting for the crops to be finished. That's going to be about another 50,000. We do have a couple of little tricks up our sleeves, one of which is we have pigs to sell. So I'm going to get on and get this load of wood done. We'll come back when we are preparing the pigs for market. We're just heading round to the timber yard with the first trailer of trees. I think that's about 10 trees worth there. Whoops. Oh. Altenstein traffic. The bollard there just to the right of the tractor, that's the one that can really cause chaos because it's real. There you go, look, the trailer's got caught on it. Don't tell me it can't get around this corner. Alright. Swing him right round. The reason I brought you back is, oh no, see, and now he's going to close right in on me. This is where it gets really cranky with the traffic. It's the only map I've ever had to turn the traffic off sometimes. Right, yep, there you go. I can't do anything about that. Traffic off. If only that happened in real life, that would be cool, wouldn't it? I am going to make it. The reason I've come back is just to show you as something of a warning. I got this excellent timber trailer simply because the low loader trailer can't carry anywhere near this much wood, and is also on unlevel ground, quite a chore. Everything rolls off of it. But this one will not auto empty at this sell point. Look. Now what you can do, well, what I have to do, they will jiggle, some of them will jiggle down, some of them get close enough, and if you waggle back and forth, a few of them will get sold. There you go. And if you do it enough, you will get to the bottom of the pile, as it were. But you can give it some encouragement. And we'll just drop off, oh no, we won't. We'll leave the dolly on the trailer. We'll leave the dolly there, and we'll just give this wood a little bit of a helping hand. So this map might be a candidate for the tipping forestry trailer we tried out in Sosnovka. There you go, we can just lift it. The ends of the wood get close enough to the sale point to sell. We'll do a little bit of Fiat Agri Ballet, give it a bit more of a rattle and a roll. And then we'll get them all sold. So not ideal. I have on other maps, certainly in 15 on Westbridge Hills, the only way to sell wood for the forestry trailer was to get a really big front loader. There we go. Come on. Come on. Slide. And you two, come on. Now obviously if the worst comes to the worst here, we can just lift this piece back out of the trailer, this last one. Come on. And just plonk him in. and that's why the bars on the side of the trailer, the middle ones, have a bigger gap. It took me ages to figure this out. Look, you can actually, if you're careful, you can get the jaws through the gap and pick the wood back up from inside. There we are. A job well done. But that's just something to bear in mind. If you plough into this map and you want to get the forestry done, you're going to have to think of a way to empty this particular trailer. There you are. So that's one load of wood. And that's made us sold wood 23,000. So that's what we need to know. I was going to sell the pigs quite early. That's silly, isn't it? Because we're making one every 4 hours. So if I wait till 6 o'clock this evening, and the animal dealers will stay open late for us because they know what we're up to, we'll have 3 more pigs to sell, which is $3,600 on hard, which is great. So we're going to do that. Why not? And then we'll get the last fields bought towards the end of the day. So I'm going to get the fields bought that we can buy now. We're going to need to fast forward time because the harvest is not yet ready. And the new fields that we buy today, we're going to harvest them as we go past. The Deutz is going to be on his fertilizer duty. The Lintner and the little hats, they are going to continue their sterling work with the small cultivator and the small seeder. They are still getting around. They're kind of filling the gaps. They've certainly saved a lot of time. And whether you want to restrict your farm to vintage equipment or small equipment or not, having a couple of pieces of cheap equipment around just to fill the gaps is always good, always handy. What we're going to do through the day, we're just going to pop around, we're going to see what the equipment's doing, and we're going to look at how well they've done and talk about them, because this is really all about this Farming Classics pack. So appropriate for this map. And bear in mind, this is only the 8th day of this playthrough. And we're on the verge of buying the whole map, using the most primitive methods possible and restraining ourselves from just grinding out money through forestry or any other such method. Right, we've spent the money that we had to hand. We have bought field 15, we have bought field 12, field 11, we have bought field 23. None of those are going to be ready to harvest till tomorrow. As usual, we'll just let them get back into line with the rest of the farm and basically split the farm into 2 sections. That is the intention. We also need to buy field 6 here, field 10 down here, and last but not least is field 17 here. There's 3 fields left on the map that we don't own. So you will notice that I've loaded this wood much further back in the trailer deliberately, so that hopefully when we go up at the bank in the sale point, it will get lower and sell basically. Have a little look around this little meadow here. We haven't used this at all. It is ours. Obviously this is going to get combined into a big field here. I think that's where the direction we're going to go. And I've also found a much easier route into town back from the timber mill. Another new field of ours, field 11 right here. The 2 fields around Mary's farm. Now, I'm only going to mention it once, but Farm Simulator 19 comes out in a couple of days, and the intention of this playthrough was for us to own all of the fields on the map, which is the intent and the goal and what we're going to achieve. I actually think we're going to achieve, well, we are going to achieve that in this episode. I think there's one more episode left in this map. There you go, we're selling it off the back, and now hopefully take off the tension straps and it will keep joggling and wiggling and jiggling, and we'll give it a couple of little helps. That's much better. Hopefully, yep. So 2 left. So yeah, just load this trailer up on this map if you're going to use this trailer. These are the 2 first pits I put in, and I hadn't thought of that yet. So these are the 2 bits that are a little bit stuck. One's gone, and we're going to do exactly what we did last time and go around and get the next one. So we're going to get all of these fields, and we're going to make Altenstein safe from that development. but I think we will return at some stage to show you the farm in full swing, because new game or no, I want to bring you that, so bear with me. The last couple of weeks, as I've mentioned, have been a bit fraught with work demands and IT issues here. It's slowed down production quite badly in terms of the playthrough, so fear not. Right, we got another 28,000. We're going to just keep hold. That's not enough to buy one of the fields that remains anyway, and just leaves us a little bit of working capital. And what we're going to do now, the rest of the guys are out starting on the field work. We're going to have a little tour around the machine, see what everyone's up to today, have a little chat about them. We could start with this, the Fiat Agri. It's a beautiful mod. It's a very powerful tractor. The 180/90 turbo. It's become, yeah, it's the most powerful tractor on the farm. It does jobs that nothing else could do. It's joined us as soon as we could afford it, only a couple of days ago, but it's already earning his keep. Cost us $32,000 to buy it from Simon. Here's the 4-Schritt, the E516. It has served us very well. We've done 25.5 hours on it. It cost us $43,000, the cheapest harvester available. One trick I have learnt, getting across this brook, you need to go in a straight line across here. If you try to get up that bank too much, you're not going to make it. It's cheap, it's reliable, it's the perfect size again for this farm. It's one downside from the point of view of the playthrough has been his noise. I'm going to get inside. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I'm just going to do this headland on this field, which is essential. I have seen some workers doing some incredible stunts to try to get pieces of equipment around that ledge. I may actually show you one today. The guy with the fertilizer wagon can be hilarious. This is a wonderful mod. Thank you very much for making it for us. I love the toolkit on the floor, T34 style. I wish we could maybe reverse from in cab a little bit better. I got no idea where we are in terms of the field. This may go wrong. If we back around now, we're going to turn off the machine. Let's get him back on track over here. His maintenance costs started off at $300 a day. Now with the hours we've put on him, they're up to about 700, which is quite an increase, but it's still not a large amount of money. We'll have a look at the overview of vehicle overheads, because it's a bargain for the work we've got out of these machines. They have certainly proved value for money. And next on our list, ladies and gentlemen, is the magnificent Deutz D80, which needs a refill. From the Farming Classics pack from Dogface. It's 75 horsepower, cost us just $20,000. His maintenance cost is still very low. It actually performs much nicer with this manure spreader, I've noticed, than with the slurry spreader. I think it's kind of a weight issue. I've gone, see, I can't talk and navigate at the same time. So I've just also realised we're just going to refill this guy here. The slurry sell point was the only option at the beginning of the game, and we want it to be organic, so we are. And what I could do is I could actually sell that slurry sell point for $7,500 and buy ourselves a manure sell point for that end of the farm for just $8,500. That would cost, and I might consider that. We'd certainly, I think, maybe be a little bit nippier. We'd be stuck with the Deutz. We still want to keep the slurry tanker, of course, because we're making digestate up at the biogas plant. But yeah, this is a lovely mod, very basic. The dials do work, but you can tell by the sound of the engine. I have now turned the game sound up a little bit more. Just now I'm away from the harvester. Just so you can hear them, because they are quite enjoyable. The staff have been absolutely excellent. Yeah, it's definitely happier with this than it is with the slurry tanker, although it performed magnificently with that. And look, we're up to 34.7 hours on this. and again, I would say any farm could handle having a Deutz D80 on it. It's very, very, very handy piece of kit to have. And right over here, and perhaps on schedule, the harvester I left going backwards and forwards. We have the Massey Ferguson 20D, another mod, and I've taken the cab off because we wanted you to remember him at his best. And he's done a lot of hours as well, 25. I was a little surprised when I actually checked. He's been pulling around the trailers. He has been our, you know, odd job tractor. He has worked in the fields. You've seen him sowing seed. You've seen him doing some cultivating. He's also been the one getting in that animal shed with the cattle. You can see he does struggle, but the places on this map where he struggles are tiny. We've become experts. Is this the zigzag up the hill? Tacking, this would be called in sailing, wouldn't it? Get up to the harvester. We'll get the harvester back on the right track as well, actually. Yeah, I'll put one headland in this field. You need to do two. He was down in there. We haven't had to reset anything from crashing up here. And the Deutz, this little baby Deutz, he is one of the cheapest tractors on the farm. It cost us just under $20,000. He's 35 horsepower, and he's done us proud. I love the colour. It's tiny, it really is tiny, and I absolutely love it. Okay, we're going to continue our little tour on foot. You can see how we thinned out the forest. We've left a couple of little clumpy bits in the corners, but you can navigate through here quite nicely. We removed some of this, as I said, it's basically a buried tree. The tractors were getting very tangled up on there. Over on this field, I'm ready to move. Is he ready to move? He's not quite ready to move. The Massey 200C, we'll move him round to the next field. Since we got hold of this lad, he's got 88 horsepower. He's been able to do the cultivating, a bit of lugging around. Hasn't been the kind of hands-on tractor that the Massey has been, say on Sosnovka, where we used him primarily for forestry, etc. But he plods along, he gets the work done. I love the control sticks. If only we had arms, eh? If I actually go to the external view, I have got arms, but watch my wrists. Have I ever pointed this out before? I've got very strange wrists. I don't like it. Look at that. Bit odd. Anyway. Yeah. Beacon, lights, warning triangle, which, you know, you need on every vehicle, especially with the students around. A very stable machine. You have to get used to the way it steers, especially with implements on it, because it twists and it turns. But once you get the hang of this guy, you spend a few minutes in it, and again, a go-to vehicle for mine since this has been available. I absolutely adore it. I really, really do. The sunshade suits it. I quite like it. The forestry cage, I don't know. I like it just like this, and he doesn't do forestry on this farm, so we'll leave him looking happy, shading his worker. Stephen, off you go, matey. Right, Deutz, what are you up to? Ah, you're having a little field boundary issue. We'll jump back in with you for a moment. Yeah, none of the staff like this edge of the field too much. The harvester even got itself stuck in the hedge. But what can you do? Right, the Deutz should have enough left on him, in fact, to get around here and start. Oh, Massey, I forgot about that one. We'll bring you back in a moment and tidy that little bit of field up. We'll get this Deutz going here. That's good. We'll hop out Thank you, Belinda. Up in this field, we have our other very good friend, and by far the superstar tractor of this playthrough, the Massey 699. Washed it this morning, I honestly did. It's already dirty because he does all of those jobs. It did all that forestry for us. Getting the Fiat Agri has really released this to use the bigger planter or cultivator alongside the 200. So he now spends much more time in the fields, which I think he deserves, because we put a mighty 42.2 hours on this tractor in this playthrough. And I think we're up to about 65 hours altogether on the playthrough, and for 42.2 hours this thing has been working, so that's pretty impressive, and he's still going strong. I love it. It's just a very tractory tractor. We'll get him straight round working on this field. We'll bring that Massey 200 back. And yeah, this field, in terms of management, the other thing we're going to look at is how we're getting on with some of the field boundary issues we had earlier, now that we own the fields that we were having arguments about. But there seems to be a little spot on almost every field where the worker is going to be a little bit unhappy. See, I'm not even sure why you've stopped here. But you have. Let's get this field finished. But as I say, it kind of, in a way, it slows down the day. As I mentioned, a whole day on this field work is about 4.5 hours of playing, which I enjoy every minute of, to be honest with you, or I wouldn't be here. So having to come back and do little bits on every field, like this bit here that we haven't ploughed, if we want to do it, does it matter? You know, you can be as completist or not in this game as you like, because the farm is yours. Now, if you actually saw how much money you make for the soy that I'm about to go to the trouble of making sure we can plant, then you might say, no, it's not worth it. But if you like all your farm fields, every business connected with it to be neat and tidy and, shall we say, kind of proper, then the money is irrelevant anyway. You want it to look nice. And it sounds like the next iteration of the game is going to actually allow us to do that even more. The freedom, even where you put your farmhouse, is going to be down to us as a player. And it's going to be interesting watching maybe how a few different YouTubers do it, and you're going to see how I do it, because I'm going to persist in making my playthroughs and making my videos because I actually enjoy it. I've got much better at it. I've figured out things like sound levels. I've figured out things like sticking with one computer and backing everything up. I mean, during the Sosnovka playthrough, I had a whole corrupted save and had to rebuild 85 hours of play, which only actually took about 15 hours because I spammed forestry. This playthrough, we've lost an episode when we had a hard drive fail. We also lost some other stuff which is a little bit more secondary, but it was a lot of clips, a lot of glitches and just funny little moments from around, you know, using the farms, using the equipment. I had about 20 clips of front loaders doing really odd stuff when you had attached an attachment at an inappropriate time or place. They were all erased. We've actually bumped over 100 subscribers. We're at 103 as I speak, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm quite chuffed with that. And I owe you 100 subscriber special. I've been holding off, A, because the numbers might have dipped, B, because I lost a lot of the footage that was going to go in it. So I am going to do that now that these playthroughs are where they need to be, and I've kind of caught up on that. I shall get that done. What's the harvester doing? Should we go and have a look? I've left him doing the whole field sideways. I apologise, student. Oh well. I'm just getting these fields 19 and 20 straight by doing the boundary down by the road. You can see how much we thinned out the woodland up here as well. Much more space. Now you also need to do the top of this field here, field 20, because as I showed you before, the glass wall boundary of the map is between the edge of my field and that field there that isn't really a field. I love the way those fields, even though they're not on the map as it were, go through growth stages. That so extends, you know, the depth of this map, and the view from up here, which is somewhere I don't really think I've been before. Look at that, that's absolutely lovely. I like that view a lot. The Massey Ferguson 356, ladies and gentlemen, he is actually down here. He's a tiny little front loader. He's not much bigger than, well, the Massey 600. He's down here. He's found his little niche. Everybody else that can use a front loader is out in the fields doing their thing. So he's going to do the daytime clear up. He can get in here. Just simply run up and down here to get this cleaned up. It's a very interesting. I love the mod. I love the way he looks. To be honest, we could probably live without him, but he's a beloved part of Grandpa's collection. I think he's got more character than any other machine in this version of the game, certainly that I've seen. Why none of you come up with a name for it? This could have been a Herbert or a Hubert or a whatever you like her. But he served us well, very, very cheap. Filthy exhaust, which is why we don't keep him in the farmyard too much. We're going to park him up here, and while we're here, just have a quick look around here. This has been another hero display through from the Massey Ferguson pack. That's the grass hay straw picker up, in terms of getting the grass into wagons and over to the bio gas plant. Silage bunkers has been excellent. The Keenan mixer, of course. We've only ever actually had to make one batch of silage, and we've still got 9,000 left for our tiny amount of cows, and we've got bales for days, and we've got an extra 27,000 chaff just there waiting to get fermented. So the animals have been a very small part of this playthrough. They've had to be. We couldn't invest any money in them. I grabbed some sheep, so we had some. We've got to use this machine. I do like him. I do like him a lot. But there you go. He's done the job, and he's here. And we're never letting him go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us back to the Boucher, which, yeah, I was getting very frustrated with before we cracked the idea of just unloading him down here, picking it up with that forage attachment. He's great, part of the classics pack again. Love the brake noises. He's not the only one that's got them, but they seem to really stick out and stand out on this machine. I'm just going to show you, just in case you're ever playing this map, even emptying these things out on the field is a little bit odd because of field boundary issues, etc. Certainly here. Now, long term, this might get ploughed out and be made into agriculture if you wanted to. I don't need this much grass unless I want to make silage out of it, and I've only made silage because I wanted to make the money a bit quicker than perhaps we would have with crop. But there you go. So I just unload him down here, pick it up, get it in a wagon, get it over to the silage bunker, and his partner in crime, Massey Ferguson pack again, the 885 mower. He's got as much character, to be fair, as that, the 853 front loader. He's worked a lot behind the scenes, as has the Boucher. Our evening job, well, this guy has gone out and the staff member has cut the grass. And then, as we've had time, we've got round quite often at the end of the day to start mowing and collecting it and get it over into the silage bunker. So he's worked well. He's very cheap, cheaper than a lot of the mowers, and the header costs more than the actual vehicle, which is odd. But again, thoroughly recommend this for any playthrough if you want to produce any amount of grass. This guy will do the work. Right, we're back down in the farmyard. We've just come to collect the Lindner. While we're here, I just thought I'd show you, just remind you what we've got stashed away. We've got the small cultivator, we've got the smaller plough which the Massey 600 and 200 could use. We've got the tiny plough which pretty much all of the machines could use. We've got the Hassier seeder and the 2-row planter from Dogface. The Hassier seeder was part of the Farming Classics pack. This was a separate mod. If you remember, it actually became available on the mod hub the very night I made episode 1 of this and moaned about there not being a retro planter to plant corn. All of the corn on this farm has been planted using that by either the Lindner or the Little Hats. The Lindner, $15,000. It's 45 horsepower. Today it's going to do a little bit of windrowing. Now you can see, and this has caught me out again, how we've got these fields here in different plant stages. I can understand with the centre section in the middle over here because it was planted with corn and we harvested that last. But yeah, how we get in field split I'm really not quite sure. The harvester's down here already. He's getting the last of the soy. We're nearly ready. Well, he needs a little bit of help. He's got a little bit distracted. We'll straighten him up in a moment. And this is the last of the soy we need to harvest for today. We'll get the rest later after the next growth stage and get the rest of the fields in order. But what we're going to do, we're just going to pop around here. And the last of our vehicles, the Little Hats, $13,000, 40 horsepower. The lowest output on the farm. I did the Deutz 20D a disservice. It's actually a 47 horsepower tractor. And what we need to know is, can I now mow all of my grass? Because we own field 9, the one right next door, and yes we can. Well, there's peace of mind for you. And the worker can get on with that. And to be honest, I think this one meadow here may be for grass production. It's in quite a handy location just to whiz a couple of bales back across the farm. I like the idea of the fruit trees and the beehives we put in the central paddock. The paddock over between field 16 and 18, 19 and 18. That's the one I don't really know what to do with. Is it worth going all the way over there just to mow that? Madeline likes to go and spend her afternoons in there. And by the way, if you didn't figure it out, because I know a lot of people didn't realise on this map, the cows inside the shed, 2 of them you can move around. That's how I did that. You can pick them up, they're objects. And these little tractors, they're tiny, they're cheap. But those little seeders, they have really been a help in getting stuff done. The other team, seeding, fertilising and ploughing today, the fields on the other side of the farm, they're a little bit behind. So it's these guys that can now get straight on that field behind that harvester, as long as we can get the fertilisation done and really make a difference. And yeah, they're great little machines. They're quite nippy. Nothing on this farm needs to go very fast, does it? Let's face it. And they're just great little things to have around. So thank you very much, Dogface, for taking the time to convert that whole pack to run on 17. And I wonder, I see there's some old style machines in 19 for launch, or seem to be, and I hope we get some of these retro machines a bit quicker maybe in 19 than we did in 17, but we'll see. I can only dream. But yes, biggest advantage of owning the whole map is there is never going to be a field boundary ownership issue. I'm going to leave the workers are finished there. We left one bale of hay down here from last time, look. Yeah, the animals really haven't been a feature of this farm. They're there. We're going to sell some pigs. That's going to be worth some money. But pigs are very low maintenance when you've got this number. Cows have taken no real work whatsoever. There you go. We'll leave those guys to it. Thank you very much. We need to get over to our harvester. Get him going. Okay, the silage is selling using the belt system. We have harvested everything that can be harvested. We've got another 20,000 soy in the silo. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but we're going to let the Deutz 20D do the honours. We're just going to show you, actually, we've been a little bit fortunate. Thank heavens for Gomez Ridge Acres. They got quite a good price today. Everywhere else is red, apart from Wright's Agribusiness, who have a very, very good price, which we're not going to be entertaining. So we'll get this round here, whiz back, get the next 20,000 sold. The price shouldn't go down too quickly, shouldn't really affect us. We'll take the nice, gentlest route. Here we go. We've got the silage to sell, we've got the pigs to sell, and hopefully with the backstop of a little more forestry if necessary, to conclude things on this very day of play. We shall see where we are. Right, 50,000, and that's going up, that's ticking up anyway. Get this guy on his way. We've got 20,000 more to pick up. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to separate the trailers, just take back the one that we need right now. What's left to do today is chaffing the corn, and I must say, I don't know if you've noticed, any of you that have used it, but the corn cutter from the Massey Ferguson pack cuts 5 rows. That's as good as any other. It says it's tiny in the description, but it's really, really not. Right, and there's me talking and getting confused and going the wrong way. Grandpa's chilling out over here with his fingers crossed that we can get this done. We're not quite close enough, are we? Always something with me. Right, we need to be about a millimetre closer to get the rest of that soy. The money's stopped going up, so the silage will need some adjustment, but let's first get this disentangled and sold. We've got a nice big pile of manure over there that the animals are producing. This one's the pig one, the bigger one we passed first is from the cows. We could get many more fruit trees. Filling them up lasts for 2 days. I've had a look, and they're trickling in a nice amount of money. Right, here we go. We need $133,000. So that is done. Deutz, leave your trailer there, come back in here. We'll go and see. I'm going to go and attend to the rest of the the silage selling up at the biogas plant. And then we'll sell the pigs. Guys, as you can see from the pig screen, we've now got 37. We've literally just bred the 37th at 6 PM on the dot. It's time to sell them. To do so, we have got ourselves the Bruno animal trailer, $700 to rent, to lease, and it's $200 an animal to move them. We are going to go back down. Well, we started with 10, so we're going to keep at least 10. I'm going to get them sold. It's a lovely evening here in Altenstein. Things are going very well. Right guys, we've sold the pigs. In fact, we've kept 2 extra pigs. We've got a dozen pigs. We're $10,000 short. We've got 5 trees cut down there we could load and go and sell to make up that $10,000. We've actually got some more crop in the silo. We could probably scrape that money together. But Grandpa and I had a little bit of a chat, and we proved the point. We brought back all these fields, and we're going to buy back some more now. and we have stopped the right, being able to turn beautiful Altenstein into a country club theme park. So there you go, field 17, the biggest field on the map, back in Grandpa's ownership. And we've had lots of fun on this map. I don't think I ever mentioned to you before, I actually played like 2 years of seasons on Altenstein, and it's a beautiful map for seasons. I actually lost a whole year recorded that I was going to start narrating and editing and playing with, and that all got lost during one of the many failures we've had. Right, look at our beautiful farm. See, we could harvest this rest of this soy and get the rest of the money. But as I was saying, Grandpa and I had a chat. And field 10 is right at the back of the Wright's agribusiness shop. Right in the corner. And we're going to let them keep it. Unless maybe one day he wants to give it to us, or sell it to us really cheap. We're about $11,000 short to buy that field. But we hope that he learns a lesson, and maybe he learns to farm on the field that we've left him. We've still got much to tidy up, but our mission is accomplished in every sense. We have used, excuse me, the small equipment very intensively, very inventively to buy up the whole farm, or we could have bought up the whole farm, we just didn't want to. Seriously, it's as simple as that. We've done it in 8 days of gameplay, which I think is very good going, and we've done it without spamming forestry, without you know, making any real sort of exploits or doing anything weird. We've made it, so please look how well little machinery can run your farm. In fact, you know, we're going to go around the back. You see the whole team's waiting here. The students have learned so much on this farm. Grandpa's loved the company, passing down his skills, and we're going to take some of them on as our team leaders, because going forward there's going to be 2 harvesters to keep this farm going efficiently. And there may be another episode in this. Guys, please ask me. I'm probably going to play this through regardless of 19 and get ourselves, I'm going to sit in the Deutz and maybe get ourselves just sorted. It'd be my perfect map. So from us at Altenstein, Grandpa, we salute you and your farm. So thank you very much for watching. Leave a like, a comment. Would you like to see another episode snuck in a week or so? Subscribe to stay in touch. We'll be back with lots of Farm Sim 19 stuff and some other stuff too. We're going to try out some Game Pass games and have some laughs with those. So take care everybody, thank you very much, and for now, maybe from Altenstein, which I promise you is not owned by Umbrella despite the way the silos are painted, goodbye.